Yeah, I thought so. Like, I'm not hitting hard at all. The build can also run Ellie Reflect. Maybe I should not use Vaal. Perfect. There it is. Map 115 of 115. Atlas clear. Start of day 3. Is a good build. Good build. Let's collect the last Iraq's vault thingy. Like the victory walk. To glory! Okay, where's the glory hole? The last hole here. There it is. Deformed. It's the first swing sound. And it's worth absolutely 40C. Yo, it's pay to win. It's 40 chaos. Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, the last update, or yeah, a small like info video about the mana stacking Vaal Arc Ignite character. So, in the start of day 3, so yesterday in the morning, I quickly finished off the last like 10 maps, and the Atlas has been cleared in the matter of like actually like 2 days, which is actually a lot faster than I usually do. I'd say like 3 to 4 is my average. There has been leaks where it took longer, but I don't stress myself too much. But I would say, hey, for the first 2 days, getting all the maps completed, including the bonus objectives, means running like sometimes even up to 8 modded tier 16 maps that were rippy, I'm not gonna lie, but still have done it all. I think League Start has been amazing, besides the lack of RNG. It's now day 4 of the league, actually, like while I'm recording this video, the start of day 4, and there has still been not a single Divine Orb drop yet, which is kind of sad, which kind of is rough for the progression, but it doesn't really matter too much. I'm still gonna get shit done. So, this is already another project that I leveled up yesterday, but I want to spend this video or take my time to give you guys like the final opinions about the Archmage Ignite build. So, if I actually quickly pull up here the this kind of VOD, so we can actually let this play in the background here. So this was basically one of the last maps that I was doing, was like an Elder Guardian map, so you see like the kind of bossing. And the thing is like this, right? Still, half of the gear that I was using was still from the campaign. It is actually crazy thinking about that I had so trash gear and still was able to run tier 16 map, corrupted and stuff like that, that it kind of simply amazes me on how cool this build actually is. Now, a lot of people might wonder now, wait a second, if you say you like this build so much, and why, like, if you have such a good progression stuff, like, why would you, like, why are you not playing another build, for example, right? The reason is pretty simple. In 323 Affliction League, we have like a bazillion new things to try out. This is an absolute crazy when it comes to like all the transfigure gems, about the new item, the reworked items, the buffs, the nerfs and everything. And I have like, I don't know, like I have so many ideas for builds that I said, like, you know what? I want to like quickly rush through the Atlas with a build that I know that works, where I also have more footage from the past league, especially with the different gearing. So I'm not too worried about letting you guys go from there on your own, or at least not really on your own, because we still, or at least I have still, the POBs and the footage from last league, where it's just more investment into the character, getting like 10 times more damage and tankier than the version was that I was playing here on League Start, right? So basically that means I covered basically the League Start with like absolutely nothing until the first high tier maps, and in the previous season I have like videos where I went from like 5 divines when I started the character until like up to like 20 divines, which are the exact same upgrades that I would do on the current version as well. So that's why I'm not really too worried about that you guys are like left alone with your league start or something. There is the footage there, there are the upgrades there, and I wouldn't change anything besides the ailment immunity that I added on this character thanks to the boots and the shield. I think with the changes to the like oscillating arc, the higher base crit, better uptime of Ellie Overload, the additional ascendancy where you can get or squeeze out extra damage, I think the wand or scepter plus shield version might be better, fixing your ailment immunity and maybe get you a bit more defensive on that part. On top of that, if you take a look at my YouTube channel here, if you scroll down a little bit, you're gonna see here the Mana Vaal arc video, basically where it explains what I'm up to, which you basically saw in this video, right? And then there is like the daily updates following through the video, a build guide, and then an update where it had like a flammability on hit ring, for example, the polaric devastation, and a Watcher's Eye, and like more investment. I think like up to like 20-25 divines was the final investment that I had on the character. I have never tried, for example, a Simulacrum with it. I have never tried Deep Delve with it. I have never tried doing like Uber bosses with it, because in the end of the day, it's always like you build a character for specific things, and I think that Arc and Ignite are like massive clearing things. It's such a quality of life build. It just is such a feels good build. It probably can do Ubers, depending on how high you get the damage, but it's not like, especially on League Start or on lower budget, you have to specifically make characters for certain reasons. You know, and for me, League Start is always a lot of mapping, going into the first mapping strategies, farming the currency. I don't care about Ubers whatsoever at all. And if I would care, then I would have probably made an Uber boss killer, right? That's why I say the lower your budget, the more specific your build is gonna be. For example, at the end of the league, I was playing some armor stacker with like, I don't know, like a couple mirrors investment, and obviously this guy could map super fast and do bosses super fast and go deep delve and simulacrum and whatnot. But this is like, the more budget you have, the more of an overall character you can build. But especially early on, when currency is tight and budget is tight, you kind of have to like decide, okay, what should be the main focus of this build? And if I decide, hey, I want to be a mapper, I want to clear my atlas and then farm currency, then, you know, doing an Uber boss or something is just completely out of interest. It's more like the way I do it, for example, I usually only do Uber bosses just to prove at some point that my build is capable of doing so, while not even planning to farm Uber bosses at all. You know, I'm just like, hey, my build is great, I think it can do Uber boss, let's just pop one in. If it can do it, it's fine. If not the end of the world, because I'm not farming Ubers anyways. And I was farming like 700 Ubers last season, so I kind of know that, you know, I would rather just map 1,000 maps instead of doing another 700 Ubers. So just for that sake, right? But as you see, that was like the last couple maps that I was doing with this build. The only change that I've done in the end was just adding the Crown of the Inward Eye, which also gave like quite a bunch of like mana and damage. But then I would have moved on and farm more currency and get myself a Polaric Devastation, more currency, maybe a Flammability and Ring Hit. Then probably going into Dual Curse, you know, either with like Whispers of Doom or maybe the Sublime Vision with Malevolence gives you an additional curse. Then you can add the Elemental Weakness in your curse setup for your Arcanist brand, and so on and so forth. Let me quickly close this one. Is there anything else that I want to show you guys? I mean, basically on the video here from the update, this is like the last version where I have all the stuff that I was just talking about with the, you know, flammability ring and so on. The flask setup is done and so on. This is a full build guide, okay? So if you want to take your time and say like, yo, I want to learn more about the build at the higher end, here I'm definitely like explaining everything, how the elemental equilibrium works, why do I use brutality in my flame surge setup with the Arcanist, and all these kind of things. So I think everything is covered. I think you should be fine if you want to stay with the Arc Ignite. But for me, it's just like, there is so many builds that I want to try, and I played the Arc version, like the Arc Ignite last season, and that's why I know it works and how it looks like with more investment. But I want to move on and experience some more things. For example, like this one here with the Power Siphon of the Archmage, one of the new Transfigured gem that I said I want to build around. and I'll keep you guys updated on like all the fancy different build ideas that will pop up throughout this league, and I think we're gonna have a super amazing time. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.